So maybe you've seen these before, maybe you haven't. I want to show you this fine made in Italy Ferrari thing. You might be wondering what this thing is. If you know what this thing is, you probably hate this thing, and I'd be with you. But what does it do? Well, it's a compact hinge for IKEA cupboards. So this adds friction to hold it open, and then it can close, or the opposite really. It prevents it from closing. There you go. This one's set up correctly. The other one I've got configured backwards. Difficult, easy. So what are these? How do they work? It's actually, I assumed it was clutch material, friction discs, but I was wrong, and I want to show the cool internal mechanisms of this. And the reason that most of these break is actually because this piece strips out, because this is just a cheap cast piece, and this strips out and you lose the ability to add friction. Now, that'll make more sense in a second here. So undo this bolt, on this bolt a series of wave washers, so stacked in such a way that they essentially form an incredibly stiff spring. Okay, so that's not the interesting bit. That's just what's providing adjustable tension to this, which I think is actually super cool. See if I can, yeah, you know what, I'll show it down here so that you can see. I'll pull this second retaining clip off. So under here there's two retaining clips keyed on the inside and keyed on the outside, and in the middle is this coppery ring with some fingers that are pushing on roller followers. And if you look closely, I don't know if you can see it, but each one of these is a slight ramp. So as this keys one way, it will slide easily as you go this way, because you're pushing these rollers down the ramp. If you go the other way, you're trying to push the rollers up the ramp, and they add friction between these 2 points. How much friction is added is going to be a function of how hard you're pressing down on these. This keys down here to this, so that this pressure is pushing here. This is called a Hilliard clutch or an overrun clutch. You see them often. Otherwise, I think it's also known as a Sprag clutch. But the idea is pretty simple. It's just ball and ramp like so many other things. The idea is that it rotates freely in one direction but binds in the other. And what you get here is you can adjust the amount of preload between these two to increase the amount of bind. Now again, why I say if you know these, you hate these, because as I said, this strips out, therefore this fails, and I got to rebuild this one anyway. I'll show you how I fix this one. It's not very fancy. Basically, I took out a set of the spring washers and added a lock washer as a substitute, so that this goes further down on the threads on the back side here, so that it engages properly. It's critical that whatever this stack is largely the same height. Otherwise, it'll bottom out here, and you won't get any clamping force. So to adjust the direction, to reverse the direction, basically you just rotate it past a stop here, realign those, back in, everything goes. Boom. Anyway, just a little something fun I found. I hope it was interesting for you. The IKEA doesn't make these anymore because they sucked. They do the job, sorta. They need constant adjustment, and sometimes the drawers will just slam shut on you. But the mechanism behind it is truly brilliant. The only real problem is that this type of clutch mechanism, as you can see, relies on tension. You can slowly coax. You can sometimes slowly coax the sprags to loosen back up and go the opposite direction without constant tension on the joint, which makes them unpredictable, which is not what you want. Really cool piece of technology. Really weird application.